Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So apparently there is more reading required in order for us to be able to at least start to put a little bit of a handle on Gotham Knights and the storyline. And the reason I'm saying this is because Warner Brothers Games Montreal on their Gotham Knights page just basically tweeted a series of comics and put it up as a poll in order to ask people pretty much, what comics would they basically prefer. So there was a list of these comics, and I went around looking for them, and I have to say that I'm not necessarily too happy with the list of comics, and that's because earlier they had actually gone ahead to even, post another list of comics. Now, the context is very important for us to remember, and I think it's also pretty cool that they did this. Don't get me wrong. I'm just more like being a cheapo and not wanting to purchase all of these comics because I'm really interested in reading them. But the list went Batman Court of Owls. They asked people to vote which comics were their favorites: Gotham Central, Grayson, Agents of Spiral, and Batgirl of Burnside. Now, Batman Court of Owls basically got 81% of the polls, and so that was actually quite interesting because, a lot of people necessarily have not, shown pretty much, their side of the, their fandom. And so Court of Owls basically, was something that was really interesting for me. But again, apparently these comics were actually some of the favorites of the developers themselves. And there were a lot of votes, actually. There were like 10,900 votes to actually showcase this. So I guess I went ahead and, out of curiosity, started looking at some of these, and these stories are quite interesting. Batgirl of Burnside, basically has just a series of Batgirl events and storylines and all of that stuff. Grayson, Agents of Spiral, is one that's way out there, where Grayson is not even, playing the role of Nightwing. Instead, he's an undercover 007 style agent. And then Gotham Central is like your good old police story. I think Gotham Central seemed to be much more in line with the Gotham TV series. If you were to maybe ask me, like, okay, what is this, thing about? I think that's basically where, Gotham Central kind of lands in all of the, I would say if you evaluate it and say, okay, what kind is this? Well, then, that's what you're going to call Gotham Central, because there you have, Harvey Bullock, and then you also have Renee Montoya, as well as other Gotham Police, GCPD adventures anyways, and how they have to deal with Batman. So it's a little bit of an interesting take from the development team to put this out there right now. And so if you're interested, and if you have perhaps even, any of these comics, I would say, this might be the clue that we're trying to look for to piece a lot of this stuff together. But until we see more footage, until they, kind of give us a little bit more depiction and, marketing, we're not going to be able to piece these puzzles together. But again, it still makes a whole lot of sense that, people are probably going to be reading this. Another thing that was also interesting too was, yes, there were 10,000 votes, but then you had about 4, 6, and 7% actually be fans of the other series. So that's a significant number of people. I mean, if you think about it, that's, that's quite interesting that there are that many people who actually, are very interested in these comics. Yes, they may not be necessarily the biggest bestsellers, but it's kind of cool that people still love these comics and still enjoy these superheroes. But largely what this might be telling is Batman is still at the core, in the hearts of a lot of Gotham Knights players. And I've seen a lot of comments to the effect of, oh, well, I think it's time for them to go a new direction. And, somewhat I agree, but, the way fans actually see Batman, they may not know it, but, he's a very interesting character. And, it's going to be very challenging to kind of see how this all goes. But, I'm not saying that I'm discounting what they're capable of doing. I'm just saying it will be really interesting. And it's also quite interesting that more people voted for Batman regardless. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of your hair. What do you think about all of this? Do you think these comics have the quality of the narratives that they can use to form the Gotham Knights game? Or have you read any of the more obscure, less voted ones? And you can share basically some plot lines with us in the comment section. I will still go for some more digging and get these comics. I'm just waiting for a sale. I was able to get my hands on some other ones during the holiday season, so I'll probably hopefully wait. They'll probably maybe do a sale here or there. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. People hardly do sales. But hey, you never know, man. A lot of these companies will market on any given day if they have the opportunity to. But that's it for me, man. Thank you so much for even participating and joining in on the conversation. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll see in another video. Thank you very much. Peace out.